Bigfoot is an animal, or do you think Bigfoot is an interdimensional being that is going through portals in the national parks, and that's why they invented the national parks, was to protect these portals? Also, is that why Missing 411 exists? And Missing 411 is people that go missing in national parks under mysterious circumstances, or they never turn up ever again. They just disappear off the face of the earth. Or they end up in places like miles away from where they started, in locations they couldn't have got alone. Look at these maps. The top map is Missing 411. The bottom map is Bigfoot sightings in the United States. Do you see a correlation there? I'm not saying Bigfoot is taking these people by any means. All I'm saying is if Bigfoot's going through portals, what if these people are going through portals too? Also, your friendly reminder that if you think you're following me, you're probably not. I was banned on my old account. This is a new account. And yes, I know I fucked up the maps. I'm sorry.
You encounter vampires on a regular basis in your life and probably don't even realize it when it's happening. I know that sounds insane, but there are different types of vampires. One of the most prevalent kind are energy vampires. They will suck all of your energy away. And it's just a completely draining experience. And, you know, it's kind of a wild thing to think about, but honestly, the best time to encounter really any kind of vampire in Galveston specifically is during Mardi Gras.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. I stopped doing tours when Mardi Gras is happening. Like, for the weeks that Mardi Gras is occurring, I will not do walking tours at all, because I have had vampires on my tours, and I have run into them in the streets.
Stay away.
It's the worst for you with the most calories, and it's so easy to get.
Why is there not healthy fast food, like real healthy fast food?
Nobody wants it.
Have they even really tried it? Like,
I think the closest you get to that is In-N-Out, because In-N-Out literally starts cooking when you're in the driveway, and when you get up to there, your order's ready.
is that your favorite? Five Guys.
What are you saying? I like Five Guys too. But In-N-Out, I like that I could order just patties with cheese, which is mostly what I eat.
And it's cheap, so you can get like 4 patties and cheese.
Well, it's good though. It's like it's freshly cooked,
Right.
and they don't have frozen ground meat.
Worst fries in the business.
I love their fries.
You love their
It tastes like potatoes. I'm not scared of potatoes.
worst fries ever.
But I will agree that Five Guys has dominant fries as well.
Great fries.
Five Guys will hit you with them Cajun fries.
Mm-hmm.
Cajun fries dipped in the ketchup? Come on. If I'm eating bread, I might prefer Five Guys because you can get jalapenos.
You can get it wrapped at Five Guys also.
Why would you? You're
For
there.
that, yeah, you're right.
The thing about stuff that's delicious but you know is not good for you, just occasionally.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Hey, respect, man. Why isn't there like, I guess, well, healthy fast food restaurant? There are like a couple, but they're not like the dominant, fast foods. It's all the unhealthy ones, man. They take up like half the marketplace, bro. Imagine if it was the opposite. It was healthy foods, bro, taking up half the marketplace.
Day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Now, the devices I want to show you today are fairly simple and they're easy to make. This piece starts with either a plastic or a metal can that has the bottom cut out, and it's simply attached to this small wooden board. Over the end is going to go this half a balloon, and it's going to be held in place by this rubber band. There we go. Boy, that was quick. And finally, this little plastic mirror is taped onto the surface. On the other end, I'm going to tape this laser down, and it's going to be on a slight angle. The tape's going to hold the laser button on, and I'm simply aiming it right for that mirror.
Okay.
Now, with a little bit of smoke, we can see the incoming beam and the outgoing beam. It's that outgoing beam that's going to form the patterns for us. Now, to use this, I'm simply going to aim that laser to the back wall and make sounds into it.
Frequencies.
Now, these might be a little bit hard to see in the video, so I think it might be better if I try these in the dark.
Now, if I don't keep going, and I keep my voice nice and low, I get better figures than if I don't. Oh, yeah, I can't see, can I jump here? Let's go back down to la 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 la. Whoa, ho, ho.
Everything has a shape.
Instead of me talking, let's try it with an electric piano.
Yep. What is about to happen right now, dude? You said you used to skate and now you glide?
Hey, dude.
No fucking way, dude. I literally don't know what to expect right now.
Me either.
I'm not gonna lie.
I am the first AI-powered street team. Cyborg, part man, part AI.
Oh shit. From Belize?
From Belize.
We love Belize.
Definitely do.
Okay, well,
Alright.
I'm ready.
Here we
Show
go.
me.
Show us.
No way. What the fuck?
What the hell?
What? This man is gliding, dude.
He is, bro.
Our chocolate is ruined too. A lot of the chocolate that you go to the store and grab is lab-grown chocolate. Did y'all know that?
Nope.
They said the cocoa prices is so high that these companies are using cocoa-free products and lab-grown chocolate just to fill the shelves, y'all. So you go to the store, you go to grab a chocolate, you think it's real chocolate, fool. That joint is lab-grown. Just like everything else they try to do. They got lab-grown meat now. They got lab-grown vegetables. Shit is crazy, bruh. We can't have shit. It's really sad to see, y'all. Because the stuff we grew up on loving don't have the loving care to it no more. This shit is a bug. This shit is not real. Mostly every label you see on a package say bioengineered. It be having me thinking. They ramping up this bioengineered, this lab-grown meat and chocolate and all this other shit. So 20 years from now, are we really going to even be eating real animals, or is everything going to come from a lab? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
What do you think?
19,000 kilograms of Domino's pizza sauce was rejected after testing positive for ethylene oxide, a pesticide and known carcinogen hiding in the mix.
You're not Jeffrey Epstein? I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
Here's all the evidence we have to confirm that Palm Beach Pete is actually Jeffrey Epstein. Starting off with the first and most obvious piece of evidence, that both of them look identical to each other. Here's a side-by-side picture of the both of them, and you literally cannot tell either of them apart. Next, the both of them literally have the same exact teeth, so as you can see right here, this is Jeffrey Epstein's bottom row of teeth, and then if we go ahead and look at Palm Beach Pete's bottom row of teeth, literally identical to Jeffrey Epstein's. Next, in a recent interview, it was actually revealed that Jeffrey Epstein and Palm Beach Pete actually lived in the same areas at the exact same time. So when Jeffrey Epstein was living in New York, so was Palm Beach Pete. And then when Jeffrey Epstein was living in Florida, so was Palm Beach Pete. And when this was brought up, Palm Beach Pete was literally trying to shush the interviewers. And then finally, every single day now, Palm Beach Pete is uploading videos onto social media saying that he is not Jeffrey Epstein. And in a lot of these videos, a lot of people feel like he's actually trying to gaslight us because he really is actually Jeffrey Epstein.
It's Palm Pete beats Jeffrey Epstein, man. The similarities, bro, it's too eerie, man. Imagine, bro, he's in front of my face the whole time and people keep denying it and saying it's not him, but it really is. Plot twist of the century. Is that a dog?
It's freaking me out. It looks like a human. It looks like a human. And I'm scared. But I don't think I'm supposed to leave a dog. Hi! Oh, it's so deformed. It's so deformed.
Oh, man.
Did you see that? Did you see its legs? Oh, it's so small. It is like... It is literally... Oh, look at it.
Stared at you.
Hey! Want a treat? Want a treat? Oh, it walks weird because it's deformed. It's freaking me out, dude.
I think it has that spine syndrome.
Bro, this pack of 7 kidnapped dogs just pulled off the greatest escape in canine history. So earlier this month, these dogs were stolen from their homes in a rural village in China. And tragically, they were all en route to somehow managed to break out of the truck that they were being transported in. And you know, from videos, despite there being a German Shepherd in the pack, the Corgi seems to be leading them. We'll call him Michael Schofield. But that's not even the craziest part, because after they regained their freedom, instead of all running in their separate directions, they stuck together and tracked over 10 miles all the way back to their home village. How did they know? They traveled through busy highways, through the bush, through all sorts of terrain, and they never left any one of their crew behind. I mean, some pedestrians even tried to help these dogs, but the pack ignored them and kept on moving. Because why the hell would they ever trust strangers again? And guess what? We have since heard that against all odds, all 7 dogs are now back at home safely with their families. Bro, if Disney don't make a movie about this, I'm gonna be pissed.
Really right there.
So you're telling me that this whole time, the way people treat you is literally based on your frequency, and that your reality is reacting to your frequency? If your frequency changes, everything around you, wait a minute, you don't control your reality directly. You can only control it through your energy. Your frequency is your reality, and everything that can't match that energy.
I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm a regular guy. I'm retired. I lived in the city for a long time. Worked in commercial real estate. I love to play tennis. I'm very social. I'm not going to change. This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. And I can hold my head high. I didn't do anything. I just happen to have similar looks. I'm just a better looking version than Jeffrey. Back in the day, when I was living in the city, I went to a couple of parties, and Epstein was there at a party. He was kind of creepy, just sitting on a couch, staying to himself. And he wasn't the magnitude that he is or was. So he wasn't a big deal. He was mysterious. People didn't know how he made his money and where he, what his story was. But I never really encountered him and had a conversation with him. I just saw him at a party.
How much more suspect and guilty can this Palm Beach Pete guy be? He just admitted to partying with Epstein in the 90s. So he's saying he has connections with him already. They're just getting us ready to expose the fact that this is Epstein and he faked his death. And he's probably like over 200 years old. He's also Andrew Jackson, if you haven't seen that photo. And this is a picture of him that he just posted like today of him in the 90s. So this is him. This is how he looked when he was partying with Epstein. But the thing is, they're the same person. Like, how more ridiculous can this story get? He's now saying that he partied with him. He is the same person as him. But it's good that a lot of people are checking on this. They're figuring out, they're not just ignoring this and saying, oh, whatever. People know what's going on here. They know he faked his death. They knew this way back in 2019. So this isn't really surprising anyone.
CERN, man. It's always something up with CERN, bro. The fact that their, mascot is Shiva, the god of destruction. I found out about that. It all came together for me. What in the ritual are they doing? Somebody caught this in 4K too. Yeah, CERN's cooked, bro. Yeah, this thing was a prank.
I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram. I want to see what's in here. I'm not trying to get validation, nor do I need it anymore. But if you are broken, you do not have to stay broken.
We may have evidence that he took her and replaced her with this woman. I want you to take a look at this and tell me if you see anything strange.
That kids' entertainment stuff made specifically for them, like even preschool shows, seem wildly imbalanced. Just recently, we found that we have reached parity in the female and male characters in both children's TV and movies made for kids.
Or we're in the car. Sometimes, like Who Says is one of the songs but I was 16 and that's more of a nostalgic feeling, but no.
That was Gina Davis, and people think she replaced Selena, but how is this happening? We've learned in the files that there is technology that literally can put one soul from one body and take it into another. We have heard this is their way of reincarnating, which is why many of these celebrities and politicians, you will see them look real similar throughout history in other bodies. Considering how different Selena not only looks, but how different she sounds, even her mannerisms, people are concerned, do we still have the real Selena or has she been gone for a long time? What do you guys think?
Morbid Facts, Part 937. In Miami Gardens, Florida in 2011, O'Neal Ron Morris was arrested after performing unlicensed cosmetic injections using dangerous homemade mixtures that included substances like cement, oil, and sealants. Victims sought cheap body enhancements, but instead suffered severe complications, infections, and permanent disfigurement. In 2012, one of Morris's clients died after being injected, escalating the case to homicide.
I'm sorry, you see the way she's built, bro? I just had to pause. I just have to notice that, bro. Point that out, man. What the heck? You got stuff work done to her face as well? And people went to her, bro, for cheap body, I guess, enhancements. That's not the way.
Morris was eventually sentenced to 10 years in prison for manslaughter and for practicing medicine without a license. On July 1st, 2016, in Louisville, Kentucky, 21-year-old Joshua Woodruff was struck by a black sedan while waiting for an Uber after celebrating New Year's. Instead of stopping, the driver kept going, dragging Woodruff's body beneath the car for nearly 6 miles along the highway. By the time he was finally dislodged onto the roadway, he'd suffered catastrophic, unrecognizable injuries from being ground against the pavement at high speeds. The driver never came forward, and despite years of investigation, no one has been held accountable. Woodruff's grieving family has continued searching for answers, left with the haunting reality that someone drove for miles knowing exactly what they were doing and chose to keep going.
What day in Paris?
All there, man.
In about, let's say, 5 seconds from here. See what time it is.
At the dawn, 16 hours, 0 minutes, coordinated universal time. National Institute of Standards and Technology time. This is radio station WWB, Fort Collins, Colorado, broadcasting on internationally allocated standard carrier frequencies of 2.5, 5, 10, 15, and 20 megahertz, providing time of day, standard time interval, and other related information. Inquiries regarding these transmissions may be directed to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, radio station WWB, 2000 East County Road 58, Fort Collins, Colorado, 80524.
Yeah, I like to find out what time it is in Colorado because it is 11 o'clock in North Carolina.
Okay.
And that is a sky scan to the T. It's not
at the zone. 16 hours,
16
1
hours.
minute, coordinated universal time.
That's 4 o'clock.
What the hell?
Am I wrong?
Time moving different?
So we have meteorites falling out of the fucking sky everywhere. Everywhere in the United States. And you're gonna tell me that NASA doesn't know anything about this? Don't you find that strange? I find it fucking strange. Because for how many months now have they been telling us about fucking 3-Eye Atlas? And now we have meteorites falling out of the fucking sky. And they're quiet. I find that fucking crazy. Some people are speculating that this might be Space Force. You know, we do have a Space Force. And that they may be shooting down enemy satellites. And vice versa. Maybe they're shooting down our satellites. And that's what we're seeing fall into Earth. You know, they like to make movies to prepare us for what's coming in the future. You remember War of the Worlds? You remember when those fucking aliens came to Earth and they thought it was meteorites? Not saying it's aliens, but you never know. What do you think?
This video was found in Alaska near Fairbanks. The man recording is named Jack. He's trapped somewhere in the mountains, hiding inside an unknown cave. At first, people thought he was shaking because of the cold. His face is covered in frostbite, ice frozen into his skin, but then you realize he's not shaking from the temperature. He's terrified. Jack sounds like he's recording his last message. He keeps asking himself what he saw, something flying, something that crashed into the mountains. He says he's been out there for days, and then his voice changes. He says something is helping him survive, but it's also been watching him the entire time. That's when he stops talking. A low sound comes from deeper in the cave. Jack whispers, "What is that?" And the video ends right after his scream. What do you think was in that cave? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
So airports are still being weird, and we have ish like this happening, bro. Y'all, why does this look like a space pod? Like something is happening with our skies, because why does that look like it came out of the heavens hard? Why does it look like the first time Vegeta entered the atmosphere to fight Goku, bro? Why is our life a movie? Why is our life a real life anime? So what comes next after this?
What the hell?
Where Vegeta at, bro?
That's like a space. Bro, that's like a space thing.
And then look at these, bro. This lady was driving on the side of the road in Texas and came across this train with these things on top of it. Now, I don't want to make an assumption, bro, but are these the same thing that was on the top of the truck? Are these the same? Look at these. What are these? Whoa. Bro, this shit looks like Starlink on the ground. Isn't that what Starlink looks like, bro? That's crazy.
This weird train. Some kind of aliens. It says Vesta on it.
She talking about it says Vestas or Vespas or something like that. I have no idea. But y'all, it seems to be a lot of activity still going on in the sky because planes are still being grounded.
It's recording live from the New Orleans airport. If you were planning on flying out today, you were not flying out today. This is just a sneak peek. There's no end. There's no end. We are not having one today, tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. I think we have a road trip, and I'm not over-exaggerating it.
They made the movie Don't Look Up because they don't want us to see what's going on in the sky. But when you greet somebody, you say, "What's up?" Because that's your natural response to look up to see what's going on in the sky. And right now, y'all, we can all concur there's some weird activities happening in the sky. I know it's all part of the shift that we on. Let me know what you guys think about this video, man. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace.
PSA, if you are flying in New Orleans or out of New Orleans.
Did you hear about the janitor who peed inside his coworker's water bottle and infected everyone with STDs? Imagine this. You clock into work every morning and fill up your bottle using the water dispenser at the office. But little do you know, you're actually drinking someone's urine. This all happened in Houston when employees at a medical office began noticing that the water dispenser had a sour taste and smell to it. This weird taste and smell was going on for days, and mind you, people were still drinking this water despite the nasty smell and taste. But one employee decided that she was done drinking this water, and instead she began bringing her own water from home. Of course, there were days she didn't finish all her water and left the bottle in her office overnight and then drank it the next day. But it wasn't long until this employee began noticing that the water she brought from home also began having a disgusting smell and taste. She finally decided to do something about this when her co-worker offered to make her a coffee and and used the water from her bottle, and they noticed that it smelled like urine. So at this point, these two employees spoke to the doctor at the facility, and they agreed to do a urine test on the water dispenser, and it came back positive. Now that they knew someone was urinating in the water dispenser, they wanted to find out who this psychopath was, so they set up a hidden camera in the office, and you won't believe what they saw. They caught the janitor, 53-year-old Lucio Diaz, unzip his pants, put his thing inside the bottle, and urinate inside. He then put the cap back on the bottle and returned it to the same spot it was. The employees went straight to the police, and when Lucio was questioned, he admitted to everything and said that he did it out of malicious intent. But this horror story doesn't even end there, because Lucio then told police that he had a sickness. When police asked him to elaborate, he told them that he had STDs and chlamydia. 13 employees had a panel of STD tests performed a few days later, which came back positive for herpes, which is something they never had. This evil man was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but he was only sentenced to 6 years in prison.
6 years? Nah. My man was peeing inside of the dispenser and knowingly giving it to other people. Man. And the thing is, people, man, that's why I said people say you have to trust your gut, because you said that the water tasted weird, smelled weird, but they still drunk it anyway. Hey, that about to throw me off, man. Bring your own water, beverage, wherever you go, man, if you're in a working environment. Don't trust it.
Humans never meant to know about.
In 2007, a woman living right near a prison in California got home late one night and went right to bed. Around midnight, she woke up to footsteps on her first floor. Assumed it was her roommate, so she goes downstairs to say hi. She yells out to a roommate who doesn't say anything. And then in walks this giant man who she doesn't recognize. She runs upstairs, jumps in her closet into the crawl space, and hides. As she's helplessly tucked away in this little crawl space, trying not to make any sound, all she hears is this giant man sprinting around her house, running into walls, flipping furniture, and screaming in frustration because he can't find her. Finally, after several hours, she slowly opens the crawl space back up, crawls out and gets her phone off the nightstand and calls police. As she's telling the police her story, she describes the person who had broken in. And they stop her and say, "Ma'am, go back in the crawl space and stay there. We'll be there as soon as we can." It turned out a 6'11" convicted murderer had escaped the prison and was still on the loose.
Her family planned her funeral
Crazy.
and had no idea she was actually alive. 30-year-old Essie Dunbar was born in 1885 and living in South Carolina. In the summer of 1915, Essie had suffered an epileptic seizure and collapsed. Her family had called a doctor, but he arrived too late, and when he saw her, he saw no signs of life and told the family that she had passed away. Essie's family was heartbroken of what had just happened, but they decided to do her funeral the very next day at 11 a.m. so that Essie's sister could come. The very next day, Essie's body was placed in a wooden coffin, and 3 preachers did the service. Once the service was finished, Essie's sister still hadn't arrived, so the family decided to proceed with the burial. They lowered Essie's coffin 6 feet under and covered it with dirt. A few minutes after Essie was buried, her sister finally arrived and begged the preachers to let her see her sister one more time, so they dug up the coffin. Once the coffin was dug up, the lid was unscrewed and the coffin was open. Many were shocked to see Essie sat up in her coffin, smiling at her sister, very much alive. 3 ministers who were at the ceremony fell backward into the grave, just shocked at what they had just seen. When Essie's family saw this, they actually ran away from her, thinking she was a ghost or zombie coming after them. But Essie wasn't a ghost or a zombie, she was just buried alive. Following Essie's funeral, she went back to her normal life and even outlived the doctor that pronounced her dead. She actually lived for another decade and passed in 1962. I can't imagine what would have happened if Essie's sister never showed up when she did.
Out in the Cornfield is easily giving 2016 clown craze all over again. And trust me when I tell you, I'm all for it. If you don't remember the 2016 clown craze, it's when people were dressing up as clowns and seemingly attacking random people for no reason. They'd be sitting outside of schools, sitting out in abandoned parks, and pretty much just terrorizing people. And that's exactly what I'm getting from Clown in the Cornfield. Because we gotta talk about Frenda. Frenda was like the mascot of this town. And seemingly someone or multiple people are dressing up as him and unaliving people, with seemingly no motive at all. Now look, after watching this trailer and seeing who's making it, it's from the producers of Smile. Y'all know how good Smile was, but it just feels like the complete embodiment of the 2016 clown craze. And I'm gonna be honest, there's pretty much no info about Frenda. I'm pretty sure this is a movie adaptation of a book, but y'all know me, I'm not reading. All I know is there's a movie coming out about somebody dressed up as a clown, made from the same producer that made Smile, unaliving people in a town for seemingly no reason. And all I gotta say is it seems like most of these people are 100% getting packed up. Like there's no way most of these people are even surviving this movie, let alone the first 25 minutes. We see bro run around with a crossbow and a chainsaw, and he's got a sickle. Bro, this movie is going to be absolute peak.
Thanks to TikTok, her case was able to be solved. In February 2021, 19-year-old Daisy De La O's lifeless body was found outside in the dumpster of her apartment complex in Compton, California. For months, her family and friends were not able to get her justice and capture the person who did this to her. The local authorities were no help to the family, and there was little to no media coverage about this. One of Daisy's friends went to TikTok to upload a video about finding Daisy's killer, and if this video never would have been made or didn't get the attention that it did, who knows if Daisy's case would have ever been solved. My Friend Daisy is a new true crime podcast produced by Paris Hilton. Yes, you heard that right, the Paris Hilton. This podcast dives into the story about 19-year-old Daisy De La O and how TikTok played a major role into finding her killer. Make sure to check out the link in my bio so you can listen to the new podcast, My Friend Daisy.
What if I told you the lady behind me was a serial killer and she turned her victims into soap bars? This is Italian serial killer Leonarda Cianciulli. Now, in the 1930s and 40s, she had a really good reputation of making good bars of soap and tea cakes. It was later discovered she killed 3 women and used their remains to conceal the murder and put them inside these bars of soap. She would invite the victims over to her house, drug them, kill them, dismember them, and then incorporate their bodies into the soap bars. She went into great detail when she was caught by authorities of how she makes these soap bars. It was insane. She said this one went onto the boiler like the others. After a while, it was fat and creamy, and she added some cologne to it, and then she said this was the most creamy and best bar of soap she ever made. Now, if you think that's crazy, listen to why she did this. She got a prophecy from a fortune teller telling her that she needs to sacrifice humans or her children will be in danger. After she was caught, she spent about 30 years in prison and then 3 more years in an asylum. She would also take the women's jewelry and belongings and sell it off, increasing her income even more. People were different in the craziest ways back then. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
I don't think I could look at a bar of soap the same, man. That's going to stay with you, man, for a while. She made human beings into bars of soap because he said somebody told her if she didn't do it, her children would be in danger, man. People back then, they're on a different type of timing, bro.
Top 3 police officers who actually encountered demons. A police officer named Steven said that whilst working in remote Australia, him and his partner were forced to move an elderly Aboriginal man because the other locals had accused him of witchcraft and other things. So they drove him to his township approximately 1.5 hours away. The other locals were terrified of him, as he was rumored to be a witch doctor, so they dropped him off and warned him not to return to town for 3 days. Steven said they turned the vehicle around and drove back to town, flying probably 100 miles per hour. It took 45 minutes to drive back, but upon their return, Steven said that they found the very same elderly Aboriginal man sitting in the street. He said that to this day, neither of them can explain it, and maybe the other locals had every right to be scared.
The case that haunts me to this day, it was September 6, 2018, and 30-year-old Dallas police officer Amber Guyger had just gotten off her shift. It was 8:40 in the evening, and she had been up since 5:30 that morning, so she was ready to go home, put on some comfy clothes, and relax. She entered the parking garage of Southside Flats, drove to the 3rd floor, parked her car, proceeded into the building, and walked down the hallway to her front door, apartment number 1378. She goes to unlock the door, though, and realizes that not only is it already unlocked, she hears someone moving around inside her apartment. So she enters the unit, gun drawn, and sure enough, sees a man inside her apartment. According to her, she shouted, quote, "Hands up, let me see your hands." She says he starts running towards her. She couldn't see his hands, so she fired twice at this person. Officer Guyger, who admittedly wasn't even fully inside the doorway at this point, walks into the unit and starts to realize something. It wasn't her apartment. Remember when I told you she drove to the 3rd floor of the garage? Well, it turns out she had driven to the 4th floor. Remember when I told you she walked down the hall to apartment 1378? Turns out she was 1 floor up, standing in apartment 1478. So no, Amber Guyger didn't shoot an intruder. She shot a 26-year-old accountant named Botham Jean, who was sitting on his couch in his apartment eating a bowl of ice cream. She then calls 911 and explains what happened. Botham is rushed to the hospital where he dies from his wounds. On October 1st, 2019, Amber Guyger was found guilty of murder. The jury, which could have given her anywhere between 5 and 99 years, sentenced her to 10 years in prison. She'll be eligible for parole this year. What do you think about the sentence? Is 10 years sufficient, or should she have gotten...
This 10-year-old boy took the life of his own mother after she refused to buy him a video game. In 2022, Noah Mann asked his mother Kiana if she could buy him a new video game console known as a virtual reality headset. The headset itself was priced at $300, and Kiana refused to buy it due to Noah's bad behavior in school. This upset Noah so badly, he made a plan to get revenge on his mother for not listening to him. One day, Kiana was doing laundry when she was caught by surprise by her own son pointing a gun directly at her. Noah had retrieved the weapon that Kiana kept hidden in the home, and he fired 3 shots without any hesitation. Immediately after taking the life of his mother, Noah logged into her Amazon account, ordered the headset, and patiently waited for it to arrive. Police eventually discovered the horrifying scene and arrested Noah for the murder of his mother. Noah never actually got the chance to play the video game that he ordered online before being arrested. While in custody, the prosecution pushed for Noah to be charged as an adult due to the severity of his crimes. After over 2 years of debate, the controversial decision was made and Noah was officially charged as an adult in the murder of his mother. As of the current day, Noah is still in custody as he waits to stand trial for first-degree intentional homicide.
The scenes coming out of Myanmar right now are insane. Hundreds of people are feared dead after the country was hit with an earthquake so powerful that it was felt as far as Thailand and China. The building you're seeing collapse right now is all the way over in Bangkok. At about 2 p.m. local time, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake rocked central Myanmar, causing roads to buckle, bridges to crumble, buildings and houses to collapse. And this has got to be one of the most terrifying things ever. Some tourists were trapped on the top of a high-rise while the water from the rooftop pool poured over the side of the building due to the shaking. That water then fell onto and swept away the people trying to run away on the ground. Insane. The Red Cross said that electricity and network lines are down, which is making it hard to carry out humanitarian aid. People can be seen evacuating buildings and crouching on the tarmac at the airport, while rescue workers are already saying that the damage is enormous. Over in Bangkok, Thailand, 70 construction workers are now missing at the site of the building which collapsed. Reports say that around 320 workers were on the site at the time, and that around 20 of them are freaking trapped in the lift shafts. And to make this whole situation even more devastating, Myanmar has been ruled by a military junta since a coup in 2021. So not only does the state control almost all of the media and restrict access to the internet, making it a lot more difficult to get information about the full extent of this catastrophe, but there's also an already existing major humanitarian crisis in the country. 3.5 million people are displaced. 20 million people are in need of humanitarian aid, and that's before the earthquake. But of course, as this situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
A gateway to hell, demons, and paranormal Nazi experiments. This is one of the most haunted locations in the whole world. High atop a steep rocky cliff about an hour north of Prague, you will find Houska Castle. This early Gothic-style castle was built between 1253 and 1278 and is home to some very dark and interesting history and legends. One of the first interesting things to point out about the castle is that many of the windows are actually fake. They're just glass panes on top of the wall. Now, why was the castle built to begin with? Nobody really knows. It is believed that it was first built to be an administrative center. It was built with no water source, no kitchen, no fortifications, and for years after it was constructed, no occupants. It had absolutely no strategic value. It wasn't along any trading routes, but it did protect the gateway to hell. Legend says that it was built over a seemingly bottomless pit, which they called the gateway to hell. And at night, half animal, half human creatures would crawl from the pit, as well as black-winged creatures taking pedestrians and dragging them back down into the bottomless hole. The castle was built with the chapel specifically right over top of the pit to keep the evil sealed in. Now this gateway to hell has since been sealed, but visitors tend to hear scratching coming from underneath the floors, as well as a chorus of screams. Allegedly, when the castle was being built, the nearby village's death row inmates were offered a pardon if they were willing to be lowered into the pit by a rope and report what they saw. One man who was lowered in began screaming after a few seconds. When he was pulled back up, his hair was completely white and his face had aged 30 years. Supposedly so horrified by what he saw, he was condemned to a mental asylum where he died of unknown causes 2 days later. To make this place even more chilling, in the 1930s it was occupied by Nazi forces. As documents of their time in the castle have been destroyed, it is completely a mystery what they actually did in the castle. Some believe they were trying to harness the power of hell as well as working on paranormal weapons. After the war, in the courtyard of the castle were 3 Nazi skeletons. How or why they were killed still remains a mystery as well.
That place sound like it's haunted to the freaking core, bro. It literally says the gateway to the underworld, man. That's the only reason why it was built. It's in the Czech Republic too. Check that off the list. We will not be going there. Gateway to the underworld, I'm good.
Another cold case has been solved after 42 years thanks to advanced DNA technology and a best friend that never gave up fighting for justice. 14-year-old Deanna Lynn Johnson went to a party in her own neighborhood in November 1982, and she never returned home. This was not like her at all, so her mother reported her missing, but unfortunately the next day her body was found just across the street on a set of railroad tracks. She had been strangled and beaten to death. DNA was found under her fingernails, but at the time it could not be used to find her killer. In the initial investigation, 17-year-old Marvin Ray Markle was identified as a suspect. He was a peer of Deanna's and he was at the same party that night. But despite investigators' best efforts to prove he committed the murder, they could not, and Deanna's case went cold. Marvin Markle popped back up on investigators' radar in 2004 when they discovered he was a suspect in another homicide, the 2001 murder of 41-year-old Shirley Ann Pratt. But it would take another 9 years for an arrest to be made in Shirley's case. In 2013, Markle was arrested though, and he was charged with the murder of Shirley Pratt. That case went to trial in 2014, and he was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 80 years in prison for Shirley's death. And during all of this, investigators were still looking at Markle for Deanna's murder. They went to the trial for Shirley's murder and tried to collect any evidence they could against Markle. And finally, in 2017, they had enough. On January 24th, 2017, police charged Marvin Markle, who was already incarcerated at Kern Valley State Prison for Shirley's murder, with the murder of Deanna Johnson. He pleaded not guilty, but everybody was sure that he was the one who killed Deanna. Her childhood best friend, Mary Borchers, said it was widely known among her peers that Markle, who was known as Ziggy, had been responsible for Deanna's murder. Mary said, quote, "Everybody knew in our minds it's always been Ziggy, 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 but no one ever came straight out and made it factual." Mary Borchers has spearheaded the pursuit of justice for many years, playing a pivotal role in gathering evidence against Markle. The retired detective who worked on the initial investigation said about Mary, quote, "I give Mary a lot of credit. I'm retired and there's nothing I can do about it. She went to court every day. She was trying to help the parents and make sure Markle got what's coming to him." Since Markle pleaded not guilty, he went to a jury trial which lasted 3 weeks. But this week, 59-year-old Markle has been convicted of Deanna's murder. Finally, after 42 years, Deanna Johnson has justice. Deanna was a bubbly, giggly young woman who put others before herself. Those who loved her are feeling relief that her killer has finally...
Robot, okay. Whose robot is that? Oh my God. What a call. Damn.
Oh my God. Hey man, this y'all man's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. This is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, y'all. Yeah, y'all. Man, I don't even want to look at this shit. I gotta look away. This shit is nasty. Fuck your shoes. Fuck that 6 ring. Fuck anything this nigga stand for, y'all. On funnel grade. Shit is fucking crazy out here.
A mysterious video has surfaced, and I can't give you too much information about this. The only thing I can say is it's captured by an unidentified fisherman who pulled in this thing from the water, and he has no idea what it is. This is an AI. This was an actual creature he pulled out of the water.
Wow.
Take a look at this. Comment below. Tell me what you think.
The hell is that? Has to be like some hybrid fish. It wasn't like resting, bro. First hybrid fish of 2026, man. Confirmed.
Pam Bondi says that if we prosecute everyone in the Epstein files, the whole system will collapse. Well, bitch, it's time to go ahead and get to collapsing. When niggas like me read the files, we seen that y'all been playing in our motherfucking face. We ready. We ready. Yeah, so our new government, can you just fuck with us a little bit more? Help us help y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's let this thing be a this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for everybody that wasn't in the Epstein files. That's what I'm voting for. We're going to start there, then we're going to start filtering out some more. Look at Pam. Pamela. If we prosecute everybody, the whole system will collapse. Fuck the system, bitch. That's what we trying to tell you. We don't fuck with the system, bitch. We ready for that bitch to collapse. And I don't know what it is about you, Donnie, but I don't trust you, bro. We ready for this shit to collapse. Fuck them. I don't care if you a deacon in the church. If you ready for this shit to collapse, throw them up. Yeah, y'all used to throw them up. Don't act like y'all don't know what this mean. This mean we ready for it to collapse, baby. I hope our new president can dance. I think that'll be pretty cool. As soon as they get done swearing in, they be like, oh, shit. Oh, America. I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, I love that nigga, man. It's gonna be good. The ones who was being nasty, y'all had y'all time. It's time for y'all to get out of here. Y'all need to go to jail, as a matter of fact. Here's to change. Here's to change. Everybody, come on, guys. Dear Jesus, hey, it's us. You know we always coming to you, you know what I'm saying? Even through our tribulations. Could you get them out the way? Because they was doing crazy stuff, and you know how you is by kids. You know how you don't play by kids, and you seen what they was doing. So just get them on out our way and give us somebody new and nice and friendly and can dance. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Do you know that hidden...
And what does that say about the system? She says if everybody gets prosecuted, and I guess in those files, the system will collapse. Like she said, man, people been waiting for it to collapse for a minute, bro, so people wouldn't even care. They would say, have at it, bro. We need a new system anyway, man. Build it up brick by brick, bro. That's actually crazy, man, if that doesn't happen just because they said the system will collapse. We need a whole new one, man. Start over, refresh. Need a clean slate.
Valley Ranch is made and owned by the company who makes Clorox, and they've been making it for 50 years. Hidden Valley Ranch, the dressing that 40% of Americans say is their favorite, is owned and manufactured by the company that makes bleach, Clorox. And they paid $8 million for it back in 1972, which is about $54 million in today's money. Here's how this happened. A plumber from Nebraska named Steve Henson was working construction in Alaska and started making his own buttermilk dressing to feed his crew. He eventually moved to California, bought a dude ranch, and served his dressing to guests who loved it so much they started taking it home in mayonnaise jars. By the early 70s, his mail-order seasoning packet business was exploding, and Clorox saw an opportunity to diversify beyond cleaning products. So they bought the whole thing. Under Clorox, Hidden Valley introduced the first shelf-stable bottled ranch in 1983, which is when ranch dressing truly took off. By 1992, it surpassed Italian to become the #1 dressing in America, and it's held that spot ever since. In 2017 alone, Hidden Valley products generated $450 million in revenue. That's 56 times what Clorox originally paid for it, and that's just 1 year. So the next time you dip your pizza in ranch, just remember that the same corporate parent also makes the bleach under your sink. They don't exactly advertise that connection, and now you know why. Did you know about this? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed stories like this, follow my page for more.
One of my followers was stalked by something in Appalachia, and she took a picture of it. Brooke is from Frederick County, Maryland, and she was out one day walking her dogs along the C&O Canal, which is near Brunswick, when something happened to her and her dogs that made her leave the area. This region is part of Appalachia, and I'll share another quick story before I show the picture of something else she encountered. As she and her chow husky mix, which is a very big dog, were walking along the trail, which she said it usually pulls her. It's so big and it's trying to run away. This day it changed. The dog became absolutely terrified. It dropped down, went behind her, and they both knew in that moment something was wrong, because she said the whole atmosphere changed and it got silent. Before she left, she took this picture. Off in the distance was a very clear shadow person, and I'll zoom in here, you can see it better. This wasn't her only encounter. One time she was walking her dogs. When the dogs had the same behavior, it ran behind her, it knew something was wrong, and she noticed what looked like a person ahead of them, and she described it as having more hair than normal. And when it noticed them, it ran behind a tree, and then another tree, until it went away. Let me know in the comments, have you ever seen a shadow person or anything else? I want to hear about it. Have a great day. God bless.
Seen something really messed up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the version of that celebrity that they wanted. Wait, what? Yeah, so they were investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a version of that clone. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like years old today if the clone is still alive.
Holy
and
smokes.
is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone.
Yeah.
I'm sure in their head they think like cloning it, okay, boom, expendable.
And where do the bodies go after? Do you see that too with the trapdoor into the ocean?
Yeah, literally in that one picture, it shows in the bottom floor, it goes straight to the depths of the ocean.
Are they trying? Oh, this is insane, man. The Epstein files, I literally learn something new every time I watch a clip together with you guys, secrets. Cloning, bro, they were trying to clone celebrities that they wanted. Yeah, I guess we know what they wanted to do to those clones, man. But the fact that they had a trapdoor that led to the ocean, bro, man, these files are always mind-blowing.
The reporter was basically asking LeBron, do you know if you want to retire after this year, or what do you want to do? And LeBron looked and just said, I just want to live. But the way he said it, y'all, you got to look at that man's face. That was like a little sad, regretful face. It's like a little smidget like he wanted to really cry, fool. Tell me I'm tripping. Look at this man's face when he said it.
Do you still have the same uncertainty about next year? Do you have an inkling of what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to live. When I know, you guys will know. I don't know. I have no idea. I just want to live, that's all.
Y'all seen the jaw area when he said, I just want to live. Then he had the little... It was somebody in that crowd he was looking at too. Other than the reporter that asked him the question, he was looking at somebody else too. Y'all be thinking shit's a game all the time, fool. Go take a look at LeBron tattoos. Go look at all the little ritual symbols that he do during the game, after the game. All of that. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Do y'all think his time may be up?
Lips are actually a magnet. Every word you speak pulls energy into your life. Every time you speak, you're sending out a frequency and pulling matching experiences back to you. Speak fear, and fear finds you. Speak love, and love moves closer. Your words are magnets, shaping your world. Most people don't realize they're attracting their struggles with their own voice. Every complaint, every doubt, every careless word strengthens the wrong reality. But when you speak with power, when you speak as if what you desire is already yours, you magnetize it into your life. Guard your lips. Speak only the words you want to live, because what you say, you summon. Remember, your lips are actually a magnet. Use them wisely and watch your world transform.
Yep, words are powerful, man.
The internet sleuths have dug up an old CIA documentary, and Erica Kirk is in it. Check this out.
We have 5 major threats that make our grid extremely vulnerable that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made EMP. So the concern that we have is that we put out this critical information, and when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
Okay, so apparently this clip is from a documentary called Black Start USA, and Erica Kirk, née Franceville, appears as a presenter or briefer on a topic of electromagnetic pulse, EMP threats, and vulnerabilities in the U.S. power grid. She is shown briefing or addressing a group of national security professionals, experts, and figures, including former CIA Director James Woolsey. The footage depicts her delivering information about potential EMP attacks which could originate from high-altitude detonations or other means, and the risk of the coordinated physical attacks that could lead to widespread blackouts or grid failure. This is framed in the context of discussing Black Start protocols, the untested procedures for starting the power grid after a major disruption. Wow.
And this is the teaching that the Truman Show hides in plain sight.
What the fuck? Nah, you don't find this suspicious? Call me out this rabbit hole.
Truman's awakening begins when a star labeled Sirius falls from the sky between 2 pillars. Then there's the dome, the staircase, the all-seeing eye, and the grand architect. One of the Rothschilds was even a producer on the film.
Wow.
So the question is, what message is being encoded here? First, we need to understand Gnosticism. In Gnostic cosmology, the material world isn't created by the true God. Instead, it's a prison created by a false deity called the Demiurge.
What?
According to this belief, the Demiurge traps divine souls in matter, keeping them ignorant through deception and control. The uninitiated live in ignorance, controlled by false narratives and false gods. A fabricated dome world. Crazy. He's kept ignorant of true reality. In Gnostic terms, he represents the divine spark trapped in matter. Christoph, meaning of Christ, sits in a lunar command center, controlling everything like a god. He believes he's benevolent and is giving Truman a chance to live a good life. The Demiurge also believes his prison is paradise. She's the one trying to wake Truman up, breaking the rules to tell him that his world isn't real and he has to get out. Then there's Marlin, his best friend who appears with beer every time Truman questions reality. In Gnosticism, the Archons use intoxication and distraction to keep souls asleep and compliant. Truman's journey to break through the dome is the journey from illusion to reality. Another symbol used in the Truman Show is one we have all become much too familiar with, the Eye of Horus from ancient Egypt. It's the third eye of enlightenment, the pineal gland. It's the eye that looks at you through your phone's camera. And of course what appears on the back of the dollar bill. Truman's programmed fear is water. His father's sage drowning was created to keep him imprisoned. And what must he do to escape? Sail into Christoph's storm and experience the drowning he was programmed to fear, a symbolic death and rebirth. After his baptism into the mystery schools, he ascends the Freemasonic staircase of enlightenment.
This is what the elite believe, by the way.
There's 16 total steps, but they are reflected in the water below.
He comes to the wall.
As above, so below. And that makes it 32 steps, with his final step out of the door being the 33rd.
Like the 33rd Mason.
There's one more layer we need to talk about. You.
Follow me for part 2.
Katy Perry was showing us what they were eating at those parties. Watch this.
And Katy Perry, ho, we didn't forget about this.
Now we know.
Let's talk about it.
Yep.
Because didn't you go to space? Wasn't so random, was it, huh? No, but seriously, Bon Appetit was the most bizarre music video, and it was actually what made me stop listening to Katy Perry altogether. This shit is sick and has been in our faces for way too long.
It's been weird.
Oh.
Do you see this? Do you see this? It's freaking nature, and it's freaking awesome. Woo!
It's hard not to see it. The evidence of our...
They're about to start holding people accountable that was on those EpiPen files. And they're starting with Prince Andrew. So if you don't know, Prince Andrew just got arrested. And he was arrested for suspicion of misconduct while in public office. Mind you, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was on those EpiPen files. And once they found that out, they removed him out of his residence, stripped him of being a prince, and now they just locked him up. They're saying that Andrew was forwarding emails to Jeffrey Epstein while he was a public official. What type of email? Now you gotta know that Prince Andrew is the same guy that was traveling around the world, speaking to different people for over 10 years trying to foment relationships for the British government. So how did he get involved and in bed with Epstein? That's how. Trying to foment relationships. They're saying that this man was forwarding confidential documents to Jeffrey EpiPen. Mind you, they asked Prince Andrew how long he was dealing with Jeffrey Epstein, what type of relationship he had with Jeffrey Epstein. And apparently he lied because they found out he was dealing with him longer than he said he was dealing with him. Needless to say, this man right here had a lot of dirt on a lot of people.
and it's only the beginning. Hopefully, the United States follows suit. Pay attention.
Yo.
You really think they're gonna follow suit though? Then I heard that he like got out. He was in jail for like I think a couple hours or something like that. But he got released. They're playing in front of our faces, bro.
They really think we're stupid. They really think that we're stupid. These chomos and these chomo protectors really think we're stupid. This is not the same person. What do you think?
This is Ghislaine Maxwell. This is the most recent photo of her released on Monday, February 9th, 2026. When you do a side-by-side comparison, the noses don't match, and either do the eyes. Looks like they've got the body double fitted with a cheap Amazon wig. When have we seen this before? Not only that, but the Friday before this picture was taken, New York Post conveniently got footage of Ghislaine Maxwell walking the yard in prison, and what do you know? They are now handing out umbrellas in jail. You know, to make sure her skin doesn't get damaged, or maybe so we don't see her face. The question now is, did she ever actually go to prison? She may have taken these photos in 2020, but the video from that same day seems to be somebody entirely different. So, what do you think? Did Ghislaine's appearance completely change in the last 6 years since she's been in prison? Or did they swap her out with a bad body double? As always, I want to hear.
I just saw something crazy and I can't unsee it, and you need to see it too. Here's Ghislaine Maxwell. That's what she looked like. Here she is, a few years later, maybe more recently, aged a little bit, but you can see what she looks like. Here she is in prison after her arrest. This is essentially her mugshot. Her hair's longer, she's changed her appearance. She was in hiding for a while. This is what she looks like the most recently since we've seen her. Up until her hearing with the House Oversight Committee just a week ago. Who the hell is this? This is the person, supposedly Ghislaine Maxwell, that testified before Congress. Look, this is supposed to be this? Are you kidding me? Who is this person?
Trying to open up these little Epstein files, talking about is you 18?
The motherfuckers in the file wasn't even 18.
The fuck?
Was this
Sure.
on footage, or was he really in danger?
Are you alone? If I see somebody else, this will not be good.
Nature YouTuber Casey Sanders posted a video called Naked Man Found in Creek. And if this is real, I am very, very concerned for him. Casey was bow hunting alone in a remote area in the woods when he looked up and a naked man from the creek started chasing him with a stick. He got so scared, he was so thrown off by this, so he started recording.
I'm here with weapons and somebody standing in my creek naked. I mean, I'm not gonna shoot you. Are you alone? If I see somebody else, this will not be good. Where? You don't know where your clothes are? Nobody's with you.
Hey, back up, bro.
I mean, you gotta look at it from my standpoint. Hang on a minute, man. Hang on a minute. I got something to eat for you. Just don't do nothing stupid right now.
Casey also doesn't post videos like this. He doesn't have a viral page, and the rest of his videos are pretty standard. He didn't even edit this original video. He put the information in the caption, and it says this: I showed up to my stand to bow hunt on Thursday, October 2nd, and heard someone yell. I looked down to find a man standing in the creek holding a walking stick with not a stitch of clothing on him. Claimed he had been beaten up by some guys at Tomorrowland and dropped into the woods after they stripped him of everything. He spent days in the woods trying to find water, and then once he found a creek, he stuck to it. He recalled his number, and I got in touch with someone to come get him after I led him to the road. By far the craziest hunting experience I've ever had. Also, hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your horror girlie? Somebody in the comment section actually brought up a very smart point. They said that you need to immediately survey everything in the area except for the man in case he was being used as a distraction. If this is a large woods you could easily get lost in and people are already hunting, maybe somebody had ulterior motives. I don't know if this is staged or if this is real, but what I do know is that Tomorrowland doesn't sound like a place that I want to go to.
And before y'all even say anything about, oh, it's too early, I just woke up, bitch, so did I. And I never would have thought I would have seen his bald head ass sitting up there being weird as fuck to this last boy, bro. So when I first saw it, I was like, nah, he just an old man. This screenshot can't be what it looked like, especially not at a time like this. This is the worst time to be on national TV tickling and pinching a little child's butt, bro. That ain't yours. This one, it ain't yours at that. Or your niece, nephew, grandson, nothing. You just sitting here playing with this man. You playing with this man booty right here in front of all of us, brother. All right, okay. Oh, my God. Okay, damn. What the fuck? Where's his dad?
I think it was next to him. It's like a light show, bro.
By the crust. So what is Mr. Nick Cannon trying to tell us over here? Because this was posted on his official Facebook page amongst a whole bunch of other pictures that he wanted to display. But this one particularly caught my eye, and this will also catch your eye as well too. Because if you guys know the symbolism behind this over here, then y'all will know that this over here could be a big conspiracy. Because
like all these freaking code words, bro. I don't boy, naps, walnut colored ice cream, milk, pasta sauce. What the hell, cheese? Pizza. Okay, so that's why pizza showed up a whole bunch of times in the files, bro. This code, man, everybody should need to memorize this, man, so they can stop trying to play in our faces and we know what they mean.
Nick Cannon started on Nickelodeon, and you guys know the allegations that's going on with Nickelodeon, with the whole Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy how this whole Jeffrey Epstein, everything is coming out. Why would Nick Cannon put this out himself? Ride the crust with this whole goofy ass pizza suit on. Damn, what happened to Nick Cannon? It's like ever since he started speaking out about those fake people who stole our birthright, it's like now he's being messed with. What happened to the spiritual podcast that he used to have? What happened to the Dr. Sabi documentary he was supposed to do? Now they got him doing this stuff, y'all. There's got to be some type of ritual. And then he's got himself eating a piece of pizza. Do you guys know? Y'all, I'm sure you guys are familiar about this by now. You guys are not in the dark no more, man. This is 2026. And now he's using AI to show you guys what he has been doing this whole time. How many of you guys thought that he was scotch-free? I told y'all, man, every single one of them. Just because y'all didn't catch him on the list yet, every single one of them. I said this before. This right here is only the beginning. There's a lot more deeper, darker stuff that's about to come out. What can possibly be worse than eating babies? You guys are getting ready to find out. And I said this before, I don't think we're going to be getting GTA 6 because what's currently happening in our realm right now is GTA 6. But let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Crazy, man. The shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace and